Well, I want to, say something very interesting, and I'm going to answer this in two parts. I never used to worry about boxing, never. But a few things that have been happening these last 2 years have made me worry about boxing. When I look at a station like ESPN, who has their ESPN.com website, and then I look at the navigation bar at the top, and I see MMA up there, and then I see other, and then boxing is buried in other. That worries me a little bit because ESPN actually shows boxing on their network. They don't really show MMA on their network. They have like recap shows for MMA on their network, but they actually showcase boxing on their network, and on their website they bury it. That bothers me and it worries me a little bit. It's not getting that push mainstream like MMA is getting. And number two, another thing that's worrying me is how a lot of people involved in the sport, such as writers, such as people who have websites, people who make YouTube videos, people that actually work in the industry, how bad they talk about the sport and how critical they are and how they fracture the sport and the divisiveness of their behavior within the sport. That scares me. Instead of uplifting the sport, we have too many people who commentate on the sport who are negative Nellies. And eventually, because we're in the age of internet, we're in the age of social media, I think that hurts our sport. It sounds ridiculous, but I think that hurts our sport. Everyone's sitting there tweeting out like, this fight sucks, this guy sucks, this guy's overrated. I think that we need to stop doing that. And I have to pat ourselves on the back a little bit. Maybe I'm biased. I think that we're cheerleaders for this sport, and I would implore other people to take the same stance that we take to try and uplift this sport from within. Because I think we're tearing it apart inside with all of this negativity that we have. And I'm not going to mention too much, what the negativity is being pointed at, but I think it's bad for our sport as a whole, and it worries me.